I was gifted for Christmas a journal that goes like this. You can see it's kind of wonky because what I did was I actually took the pages out because unfortunately the journal was too heavy with all of the pages plus the cover. But I do love that I was gifted this. This person got me a journal, like post-it notes, but they're very pretty post-it notes, like a whiteboard, like all things I've been wanting and wishing for, which I didn't realize might show the organizational part of myself or the type A part of myself that I guess hasn't really been as taking the spotlight when my health situation was in a very different state. And so I'm just so glad that I'm even at the place 3.5, almost 4 years later since the health journey started, that I can think about post-it notes and journals and organizing and all of these things, which I know to someone might seem, I don't know, but maybe this can be a reminder of how sometimes these things are taken for granted, and just like our able-bodiedness, can be taken for granted. And truly, it's just such a blessing to be able to have a body that you can move and carry you to see like the wonderful things in the world, and go for walks with people you love, and create things, make things, work with your hands. It's all very important. I had a stage where I couldn't work with my hands in the way that people usually do, so it's just so incredible. Thank you for letting me. I'm learning to express my emotions externally more, so I am going to be externalizing, if you will, more, but in a positive way. I'm also working on externalizing, more complicated emotions. When I say externalizing, I mean like not internalizing, but obviously not subjecting people to any harmful behavior, of course. Anyways, yes, this journal. It's so interesting. Like, I have been getting really into, like, I really want to make my own clothes and stuff. And this is also part of the whole resourceful journey I'm on. And so basically my financial security, food security, a lot of people who meet me and they eventually find out about a lot of stuff I've been through, they are like, you don't give that. Like, I never would have guessed. And I think maybe that can be a reminder to people that, like, you never know people's stories, because I feel like some people have definitely judged me and sized me up, but they have no idea what I've been through. And so anywho, yes, okay. So this journal, also, I've been really into off-the-shoulder shirts lately because it helps me put on a cream that is really good to help with soreness and body aches and stuff like that. But it's just funny because with a microphone, it's a bit, this I feel like is the best way to keep it in position. So anyways, deconstructing and like really looking at how things are made. What I did was I cut what was attached to the cover and what it revealed. So the inside is this cardboard, and then the spine here is also cardboard. They're just different shades. This is obviously the paper that's like glued on or something. The outer part, I think, is a type of leather, type of fake leather. It's very soft and smooth. I like the feel of it, and I like the color of it. In the sun, it's even more beautiful, and in person, it's more beautiful. But yeah, and then you can see that where they kind of like fold the corners of the leather, and you can also see, so this is the like elastic, which is just a stretchy elastic. There's like a little hole that they puncture through, and this is where the end of the elastic is inside, and that's where the other end of the elastic is, and it comes out here. And then here you can see the other end of this little loop, and you can see how thin the leather is. So that's how they made this cover of the journal. And the cardboard definitely is what gives it its structure in terms of the spine and the front and back, like the hardcover. And so it's just interesting to think about like every hardcover, like they didn't used to use cardboard. You think about books from and like encyclopedias and how beautiful they are. And I just wonder what they made those out of, or if like they're wrapped in fabric. I don't know. If anyone knows, when it comes to the journal itself, this was my beginning discovery. And then Anyways, so the edges are a bit frayed here because I just cut it with my trusty, you'll probably see me use these a lot. I use two types of scissors. These are nail scissors, but they are sharp and get into corners and crevices and cut thread really well. And then I actually got these to cut my hair. So these are hair cutting scissors, but they do the jobs that I need done really well. I do at one point want to get something where I can kind of not have these like serrated paper edges. In this case, I could have avoided that if I had a blade. We'll get there. Then the inside of the journal, it lies flat, which I love, but you can see that it has this like stitching. And then the back, you can see how this is where the stitching happens. These are the points. And then it's like this like glue or adhesive. I'm not really sure what it is, but you can kind of see, yeah. And that allows it to bend really well. Because it's nice to have a journal that has that like flatness and bendability when it's not a coil. Sometimes you don't want a coil, you know? I'm just gonna collage the front and back, probably just to make it more me or feel more warm rather than like a blank piece of paper because it's like stark white. It's not even a warm cream. But then this is kind of giving, I know a lot of people have like leather versions of like a journal case. This can actually be, I could put like smaller journals in here. Oh, it's kind of giving binder. Like, I could put smaller journals in here and use my own way of kind of keeping them in here. But honestly, this elastic does a lot. So I could see it like not even falling out. Honestly, I could even just take a piece of yarn. I could just do something like that. And then it's like a gift, you know, and then that way they wouldn't fall out. I could also just take a piece of yarn into them and then like hook it here and then they wouldn't fall. Actually, that would be better. Okay, well, if and when I get smaller journals, I'll let you know what I do with this and how I'm going to be using those journals. I also have a way of journaling that I would love to share with you guys. I'm kind of hoping with this movement of, you know, analog, which if anything is going to be a trend, I'm all for this being a trend. I think it really helps move people that might not otherwise move towards these types of habits in a way that might really be helpful for them and for, you know, collective healing. There is a sentiment whenever people have brought differently abled people into the mix in terms of urban planning, building things, when you consider them into the POV and into the planning and listen to them, hear their voices, it actually benefits everyone. So caring for people that are different from you actually benefits everyone. And when I say different from you, I mean like populations that have been marginalized or oppressed or have not been heard or seen as much. I have knowledge of what being an able-bodied person is like, and I have knowledge of what being a differently abled person is like. As I talk about this, it's my birthday today, and I'm definitely not taking just being alive and existing for granted. Maybe I can be a source of reminder of like, we are so lucky just to have a body and breathing and able to go for walks, and whether it's by yourself or with people you love, both kinds of walks are amazing. And anyways, I also do need to get outside. It's sunny today, which is amazing. So there are a lot of things that I want to say, but essentially I feel like it gave me this idea of a way to journal that can integrate both of those parts. I think especially, and I'm not saying you have to have it all figured out in your 20s, of course, and maybe only people who are 30 and up want to use this type of journaling practice, but I think it would help take stock of okay, I think I need to get outside. I'm gonna follow my body, and I believe and trust that I will be able to communicate this another time. But I hope you like my hair today because I didn't have the capacity to put in conditioner. I don't like dealing with wet hair anymore, but blow drying it doesn't make it look great. So I decided to just put it in braids. It got rid of the wet hair feeling, but also I'm like, does it look cute? Should I do this more? Okay, I am going to go outside now, and I hope this can be a good cue for you to go outside, especially if the sun is out. You have to, oh, if you're in Canada, it's especially important to go out when the sun is out because, yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna go. Okay, thanks. I have more to say, but we'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.